Oh, my God, can you believe the absolute chaos that erupted at Spice's electrifying concert last night? Picture this. The lights are pulsing, the bass is thumping, and the crowd is going wild as Spice owns the stage like the queen she is. But hold on tight, because things took a turn straight out of a Love and Hip Hop Atlanta fever dream when Yandy Smith stormed out in a blaze of fury, leaving everyone gasping for air. Yes, you heard that right, Yandy, the no-nonsense boss babe who's always juggling her empire and her emotions, couldn't hold back anymore. And the shade? Oh, it was thrown harder than a mic drop at a rap battle. She straight up shaded Rasheeda's BBL, calling it out in the most savage way possible, and now the entire LHHATL crew is exploding like fireworks on the 4th of July. Fans are losing their minds online, tweeting up a storm with hashtags like hashtag Yandy vs Rasheeda and hashtag Spice concert drama trending faster than you can say, beef alert. Emotions ran high as Yandy, who's been simmering with unspoken grudges, finally boiled over. Was it jealousy over Rasheeda's glowing post-BBL confidence? Or something deeper, like old feuds bubbling up from the show's infamous reunion episodes? Witnesses say Yandy was front row, cheering at first, but then bam, a heated exchange backstage with Spice herself sparked the meltdown. Spice, ever the firecracker, tried to play peacemaker, but Yandy wasn't having it. "I'm done with the fake love," she reportedly yelled, flipping her hair and marching out, leaving Rasheeda stunned and the audience buzzing with whispers. But wait, there's more. Rumors are swirling that this isn't just about a concert walkout. Insiders whisper that Yandy's shade at Rasheeda's BBL glow-up ties back to deeper betrayals involving Kirk Frost and the whole Atlanta clique. The family was left divided, with Scrappy jumping in to defend his people, and Mama D stirring the pot like only she can. Is this the start of a full-blown war that could shatter alliances on Love and Hip Hop? You won't believe the twists coming up, betrayals, tears, and maybe even a surprise reconciliation? Stick around, because we're diving deep into this explosive drama that's got everyone talking. Whose side are you on? The suspense is killing us. The lights were still flashing red and blue across the packed arena as Spice wrapped up her killer verse, sweat glistening on her skin, mic in hand like a weapon. The crowd was screaming her name, but in that VIP section right up front, Yandy Smith sat frozen, arms crossed tight, lips pressed into a thin line that could cut glass. What started as a fun night out to support her girl Spice had turned into something ugly real quick. Just minutes earlier, Yandy had been vibing, phone up recording, even throwing up a little two-step when Spice shouted out Atlanta Queens. Then the set shifted. Spice brought out a surprise guest, Rasheeda. Not just any appearance. Rasheeda strutted on stage in a skin-tight silver catsuit that hugged every enhanced curve, hips popping with that new BBL confidence she'd been flexing on Instagram for months. The crowd lost it. Phones lit up everywhere, but Yandy's face? Pure ice. Rasheeda grabbed the mic from Spice with a laugh that echoed through the speakers. "Atlanta, y'all know I had to pull up for my sis. And let me tell y'all, this glow up ain't just the lights, it's the work." She turned sideways, gave a slow twirl, and smacked her own hip for emphasis. The arena erupted again. Spice hyped it up, yelling, body tea, but Yandy wasn't clapping. She leaned over to her assistant sitting next to her and muttered something sharp. The assistant's eyes went wide. Then Yandy stood up, not the slow, graceful rise she usually does for photo ops. This was abrupt, chair scraping loud even over the music. Heads turned, phones swiveled her direction. She didn't wait for security to clear a path. Yandy pushed through the VIP velvet ropes herself, heels clicking like gunshots on the concrete floor. Fans in the front rows started whispering, recording, zooming in. "Is that Yandy? Oh snap, she leaving?" someone yelled. Spice noticed mid-chorus, her smile faltering for a split second before she powered through. Rasheeda, still posing, caught the movement too. Her eyes locked on Yandy storming toward the exit tunnel. For a moment their gazes met across the chaos. Rasheeda's smirk faded into something harder. Yandy didn't break eye contact. She lifted her chin, flipped her long weave over one shoulder, and kept walking. But right before disappearing backstage, she stopped, turned halfway, and loud enough for the nearest mics and phones to catch it, she said, "Some of y'all out here buying bodies but can't buy class. Keep that fake glow, sis. I'm good on the counterfeit." Gasps rippled through the section like a wave. Phones captured every syllable. Within seconds clips were flying across Twitter, TikTok, Instagram stories. Hashtag Yandy storms out started climbing. Hashtag Rasheeda BBL shade hit #1 in minutes. Back on stage Rasheeda froze, mic still in hand, smile gone. Spice rushed over, put a hand on her arm, whispering something quick. Rasheeda shook her head, eyes glassy but jaw set. She stepped to the edge of the stage, scanned the crowd where Yandy had been sitting, then spoke into the mic, voice steady but laced with venom. Some people talk big when they think nobody listening. But we all see who really running from the spotlight tonight. Stay mad, boo. This body's still eating. The crowd roared, half cheering Rasheeda's clapback, half shocked at the live beef unfolding. Spice tried to steer it back to the music, jumping into the next track, but the energy had shifted. People weren't just dancing anymore, they were live tweeting, arguing in sections, placing bets on who was going to drag who first on the next reunion. Backstage, the hallway turned into a war zone. Yandy burst through the artist entrance, security trailing behind her trying to keep up. Her phone was already blowing up, texts from Mendices, from Scrappy, from Mama D, even from Kirk Frost asking what the hell just happened. She ignored them all, pacing in a tight circle, breathing hard. Spice's team rushed in next, Rasheeda right behind them still in her stage outfit, heels clicking furious. What was that, Yandy? Rasheeda snapped the second she saw her. You gone, come to my sister's show, sit front row, then throw shade at me on camera? Real classy. Yandy spun around, eyes blazing. Classy? You out here twerking on stage like you invented curves, acting like we all forgot how you used to talk down on girls who got work done. Now you the poster child? Please. Rasheeda stepped closer, voice dropping low. I earned every inch of this. You mad because your man keeps staring? Are you mad because I look better than your pressed wigs and rented purses? That hit deep. Yandy's nostrils flared. Girl, Mendices don't want your inflated ass. He got real women at home. And last I checked, your husband's still calling other women, friend, at 2 a.m. so miss me with the glow-up lectures. Rasheeda laughed, but it was bitter, sharp. Oh, now we bringing up Kirk? At least my man handle his business in public. Yours stay hiding behind your skirts. Maybe if you spent less time managing everybody else's life, yours wouldn't be falling apart. The hallway went dead silent. Security shifted uncomfortably. Spice stepped between them, hands up. Y'all chill. This my night. We not doing this here. But Yandy wasn't done. She pointed past Spice straight at Rasheeda. You know what? You right. This your sister's night. That's why I'm leaving. I don't need to watch you parade plastic like it's a personality. Enjoy your moment, boo. Hope the doctor don't charge extra for the touch-ups. She turned on her heel again, this time heading straight for the private exit. Rasheeda called after her, run all you want, Yandy. The internet don't forget, and neither do I. Yandy didn't look back. The door slammed behind her. Outside, paparazzi swarmed the loading dock the second she appeared. Flashes blinded her. Questions flew. Yandy, is the beef with Rasheeda real? Did you shade her BBL? Are you and Spice still cool? She threw up one hand to block the cameras, the other clutching her phone like a lifeline. Her driver pulled up fast. She slid into the backseat, door shutting with a thud. Inside the car she finally exhaled, hands shaking. She opened Twitter. The timeline was pure fire. Clips of her exit, Rasheeda's clapback, side-by-side comparisons of old Rasheeda photos versus now. Memes already circulating, Yandy's face photoshopped onto a storm cloud, Rasheeda's body labeled, bought it on layaway. Fans were split. Team Yandy saying she spoke facts, Team Rasheeda calling Yandy jealous and insecure. Her phone buzzed again. Mendices this time. Baby, what happened? Everybody texting me. She typed back quick. I'm on my way home. We'll talk. But deep down she knew this wasn't staying contained to one night. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta thrived on mess like this. Producers were probably already salivating, planning confessionals, sit-downs, maybe even a special episode. Mama D had already posted a cryptic Instagram story, a teacup emoji and the words, some tea just got spilled. Scrappy retweeted a fan clip with laughing emojis and, ATL stay wild. Even Kirk Frost liked a post shading Yandy. The lines were drawn. Yandy stared out the tinted window as the city lights blurred past. She felt the weight of it all crashing down, years of holding it together, smiling through shade, building an empire while everyone waited for her to crack. Tonight she cracked. And now the whole world was watching the pieces fall. But she wasn't sorry, not yet, because somewhere in that anger was truth she'd been swallowing too long. Rasheeda wasn't just flexing a new body. She was flexing a new attitude, one that Yandy used to have before life beat it out of her. Maybe that's what hurt most. Not the BBL. The reminder that she used to be that unbothered. And now she was the one storming out. Back at the venue, the show ended strong. Spice closed with her biggest hit, crowd still hyped despite the drama. Rasheeda stayed on stage for the finale, dancing harder, smiling wider, like she refused to let Yandy steal her shine. But backstage after, when the lights dimmed and the fans cleared out, Rasheeda sat on a folding chair, makeup still flawless but eyes tired. Spice knelt beside her. "You good?" Rasheeda nodded slow. "Yeah, just, damn, I didn't expect her to come for me like that." Spice sighed. "Yandy been carrying a lot. Maybe she needed to let it out." Rasheeda looked up. "On my night? Nah, that's foul." Spice didn't argue. She just hugged her sister tight. The night ended with two queens walking away wounded. One stormed out in rage. The other stayed and performed through pain. But neither was done, not by a long shot. Because in Atlanta, beef like this doesn't die after one concert. It grows. It spreads. And when Love and Hip Hop cameras start rolling again, every word, every look, every tear would be caught on tape. The explosion was just beginning. And nobody, not Yandy, not Rasheeda, not even Spice, knew how big it was about to get. Rasheeda wasn't about to let that shade slide without firing back, and the second those viral clips hit her phone backstage, she felt the heat rising in her chest like someone had poured hot sauce on her freshly done lashes. She had been chilling in her private green room sipping champagne, celebrating what was supposed to be her night of support for Spice, her fellow Atlanta queen, when the monitor showed Yandy storming out throwing that BBL bomb. The room went quiet. Her makeup artist froze mid-brush stroke and Kirk Frost, her husband, jumped up so fast his chain swung wild. "Baby, what the hell? She just said that about you on camera." Rasheeda didn't answer at first. She just stared at the screen, her lips pursed tight, because deep down she knew this wasn't random. This was personal war declared in front of thousands. She grabbed her phone and started typing furiously in the cast group chat. "Y'all see this mess? Yandy just tried to come for my body, my hustle, and my spot all in one breath. I am not letting this ride." She hit send and the replies flooded in immediately, some with fire emojis, some with shocked faces, but the one that stung most was from a producer who slid in privately. "Rasheeda, we need to talk. Damage control. This is blowing up bigger than the last reunion." Kirk was already on damage control mode, calling his own contacts, telling them to spin it as Yandy being jealous of Rasheeda's glow up, but Rasheeda wasn't hearing that. She wanted smoke. She stormed out of the green room, heels clicking like gunshots, security trailing behind her, yelling, "Miss Frost, calm down." But calm wasn't in her vocabulary tonight. By the time she hit the hallway, fans had already spotted her, some screaming, "Rasheeda, we love you," others whispering, "Did you hear what Yandy said?" She ignored them all, pushing toward the exit where she knew the cameras would catch her next move, because if Yandy wanted to make a scene, Rasheeda was about to make a bigger one. She stepped outside into the flashing lights of phones and paparazzi, and that's when she dropped her first public response, loud enough for every microphone to pick it up. "Yandy talking about fake when she been faking loyalty for years. Honey, my BBL might be bought, but my hustle is 100% real, unlike some people who ride coattails and then bite the hand that fed them." The crowd erupted, some cheering, some gasping, because this was live tea spilling right there on the sidewalk. Inside her mind, Rasheeda was replaying every moment that led to this, the shady comments Yandy made during filming, the way Yandy would smile in her face, then whisper to producers about Rasheeda not pulling her weight on group scenes, the Miami trip where Yandy allegedly told Mendices that Rasheeda was too focused on her looks instead of her music career. It all clicked. Tonight wasn't about a concert shout out. Tonight was about Yandy trying to dim Rasheeda's light, because Rasheeda was finally stepping into her own spotlight with new music, new deals, and yes, a body that had the blogs buzzing. Rasheeda turned to her assistant, "Get my phone, I am going live right now." The fans outside started chanting her name, some holding up signs that said "Real Queens support Real Queens." Rasheeda felt the power surge through her. This was her moment to flip the script. Meanwhile, across town, Yandy was still in her car speeding toward home, but her phone wouldn't stop buzzing, notifications pouring in from every direction, fans tagging her in Rasheeda's response clips already edited with dramatic music and slow-motion replays of both women's faces. Yandy watched one clip where Rasheeda called her a coattail rider and her blood boiled all over again. She pulled over on the side of the highway, hands shaking as she hit record on her own Instagram live. "Y'all think Rasheeda can talk about hustle when she spent more money on that BBL than she did promoting her last album? I am not jealous, baby. I am disappointed because I thought we were sisters, but sisters don't try to sabotage each other behind closed doors." The live viewers shot up to thousands in minutes, comments flying. "Love you, Yandy. Drag her, sis. Protect your peace, queen." The support fueled her, but so did the hate comments calling her bitter and insecure. Back at the concert, Spice had just wrapped her set, but the energy was off. The crowd was distracted, half still talking about the drama. Instead of singing along, she grabbed the mic one last time before the lights came up. "I just want to say love y'all, Atlanta forever, but tonight showed me we got some real issues to handle off stage. Let's keep it positive out here." But her words felt hollow because even she knew the beef between Yandy and Rasheeda was about to pull the whole cast into the fire. She had dedicated that song thinking it would bring unity, but instead it lit the fuse. Spice texted both women privately, "Y'all need to talk this out before it ruins everything," but neither responded. They were too deep in their feelings, too far gone to hear reason right now. The next morning, the blogs were on fire. TMZ, Love and Hip Hop World all running headlines. Yandy versus Rasheeda, BBL shade turns into full-blown war. Fans divided down the middle. Some team Yandy, saying she was standing up for authenticity. Others team Rasheeda, arguing that body shaming was low even for reality TV. Kirk Frost posted a cryptic Instagram story, just 2 words: protect black women, with a praying hands emoji, but nobody knew who he was really talking about. Mendices, on the other hand, was in full husband mode, posting a photo of him and Yandy from years ago. Caption: family over everything no matter what. But the comments were brutal, people accusing him of staying quiet while his wife went off the deep end. Rasheeda woke up to hundreds of DM requests, some supportive, some vicious. She decided to double down, going on The Breakfast Club for an emergency interview where she broke her silence in detail. "Yandy has been coming for me since season 1. She smiles for the cameras, but behind the scenes she tells producers, I am not a team player because I won't kiss up to her. She thinks because she manages artists she runs Atlanta, but newsflash, I built my brand with my own hands, and yes, I got work done, so what, my body, my choice." She didn't hold back, dropping hints about Yandy's own past struggles, saying, "Everybody got insecurities, stop projecting yours onto mine." The interview clip went mega viral, and suddenly the pressure was back on Yandy to respond. Yandy didn't waste time. She scheduled her own Zoom interview with a popular blogger, spilling tea she had been holding for months. "Remember when Rasheeda tried to get my spot on that Versus battle by telling organizers I wasn't reliable? That was her trying to push me out because she saw me as competition, and now she wants to play victim because I called out what everybody already knows. Her confidence is manufactured, mine is earned through real work, real pain, real growth." The blogger asked about the family division. Yandy sighed, "My kids are seeing this, my husband is stressed, my circle is cracking, but I refuse to let someone dim my light just because they paid for theirs." The interview ended with Yandy looking straight into the camera. "Rasheeda, if you want peace, come correct, otherwise this war is just getting started." The cast felt the ripple effects immediately. Mama D posted a video saying, "Both my babies need to sit down and talk because this ain't cute no more." Scrappy texted the group chat, "This beef finna cost us all sponsors if Yandy and Rasheeda don't chill." But nobody was chilling. Emotions ran high, loyalties shifted overnight. Friends who used to party together now avoided each other at events. The Love and Hip Hop Atlanta family was officially fractured, and the fans were eating it up. Every new post, every new clip adding fuel to a fire that showed no signs of dying down, because when two queens go head-to-head in Atlanta, the whole city feels the heat, and nobody was ready to back down. The fallout hit like a Category 5 hurricane, ripping through Atlanta. The next 48 hours turned into a non-stop barrage of interviews, lives, posts, and shady subtweets that kept the entire Love and Hip Hop fanbase glued to their screens. Producers were scrambling behind the scenes, trying to figure out how to turn this beef into ratings gold without letting it destroy the whole franchise. Because when 2 of the biggest names go nuclear, the sponsors start getting nervous and the network execs start asking questions nobody wanted to answer. Spice found herself caught in the crossfire. She had hoped her concert would be a celebration of Atlanta women in music, but now every headline was Yandy storms out of Spice show after shading Rasheeda. BBL and Spice was trending for all the wrong reasons. Fans flooded her comments asking why she shouted out Rasheeda if she knew the beef was boiling. Some accused her of picking sides, others said she should have addressed it on stage and shut it down. Spice decided to go live from her home the morning after the concert. "Y'all, I didn't know it was gonna pop off like that. I was just showing love to my sister Rasheeda. We been rocking for years, but Yandy is my girl too. This ain't about me picking teams, this about grown women handling grown business off camera." But the damage was done. Her comments section split right down the middle, half defending her for staying neutral, half calling her fake for not checking Yandy in the moment. Kirk Frost stepped up in a big way, posting a longer video on his story sitting in his car looking serious. "Y'all know I don't like getting in women's business, but this right here is getting out of hand. Rasheeda is my wife, my partner, my everything, and when somebody comes for her body, her confidence, her glow up, they coming for me too. Yandy, you my sister in this game. We been through too much for this to be how it ends. Let's talk like adults before this turns into something we all regret." But the video only fueled more speculation because people noticed he didn't tag Yandy or Mendices, and some fans read that as as him choosing sides fully with Rasheeda. The comments exploded. Kirk protecting his queen, yes daddy, drag her if you have to, but others said he was being messy for not calling both women out equally. Mendices wasn't staying quiet anymore. He went on his own Instagram live from their living room, kids already in bed, Yandy sitting next to him looking exhausted but still fierce. Listen family, this ain't just reality TV drama, this is real life affecting real people. My wife poured her heart into building relationships in this industry only for somebody to turn around and act like she's the problem. Rasheeda, if you got an issue with Yandy, come to her direct, don't hide behind interviews and lives throwing jabs. We got kids watching this, we got businesses on the line. This beef needs to end now before it costs everybody something they can't get back. Yandy nodded along, adding her own piece. I never said I was perfect, but I never pretended my body was the reason for my success either. Rasheeda, keep talking about hustle, but where was that hustle when you tried to block my deals behind my back? The live chat went crazy, some fans typing protect Yandy at all costs, others saying both of y'all need to grow up. The cast started picking sides in subtle and not so subtle ways. Mama D dropped a bomb on her page, posting an old photo of her, Rasheeda and Yandy from an early season, captioning it, "We used to be unbreakable. What happened to the love, sis? I raised y'all better than this." The post got thousands of likes but also hundreds of replies begging Mama D to mediate a sit down, because if anybody could get through to them it was her. Scrappy posted a meme of two cats fighting with the caption, "When your sisters start swinging over nothing," but everybody knew it wasn't nothing. This was years of built-up tension exploding all at once. Then came the biggest twist yet. A leaked audio clip surfaced on a popular blog, supposedly from a private conversation between Rasheeda and one of the producers right after the concert. Rasheeda, voice clear as day, saying, "Yandy thinks she can embarrass me on camera. I am about to show her what real embarrassment looks like. I got receipts on her marriage, on her business deals, on everything she thinks is hidden." The clip was only 30 seconds but it spread like wildfire, fans screaming receipts, receipts in every comment section. Yandy team went into defense mode, saying the audio was fake or edited. Rasheeda supporters said it proved Yandy started it by throwing the first shade, but the real bomb was the mention of receipts on Yandy's marriage. Everybody knew Mendices had a complicated past, but nobody expected Rasheeda to go there. Yandy responded within the hour, posting a black screen with white text, "No games, no edits, just facts. If anybody got receipts on me, bring them, because I've been nothing but transparent about my life, my struggles, my wins." Rasheeda, if that's the road you want to take, know that two can play that game and I promise you won't like what comes out. The post racked up over 1 million views in hours and suddenly the beef wasn't just about a BBL anymore, it was about marriages, finances, loyalty, everything these women had built their personas around. Producers called an emergency Zoom with the main cast trying to contain the chaos, but it backfired when Yandy and Rasheeda both logged on and the tension was visible even through screens. Rasheeda spoke first. "I am not apologizing for defending myself. Yandy crossed a line, body shaming me in public after years of pretending we cool." Yandy fired back, "You crossed lines first, trying to sabotage my opportunities, whispering in ears, acting like my success was because of you, pulling strings when we both know I grinded harder than anybody." The Zoom turned into a shouting match, other cast members trying to jump in but getting drowned out. Mama D finally yelled, "Enough, both of y'all acting like children. This show is about growth, not destruction. If y'all can't fix this, then maybe some of us need to walk away." The call ended abruptly with no resolution, just more hurt feelings and more viral clips. The fans were relentless, creating edit after edit, side-by-side comparisons of old friendship moments versus current shade-throwing videos, TikToks with dramatic music overlays captioning, "This is why I watch Love and Hip Hop Atlanta." The blogs kept the stories coming, daily updates on who posted what, who liked whose post, who unfollowed who. The division spread beyond the cast to the fans themselves. Group chats arguing, family dinners turning into debates, even workplaces had coworkers picking teams over lunch. It was chaos, but the kind of chaos that made the show more popular than ever. Ratings for the next episode were projected to be through the roof because everybody wanted to see if they would address the concert fallout on camera or pretend it never happened. But the real question hanging over Atlanta was how deep this would go. Would receipts actually drop? Would marriages be dragged? Would businesses suffer? Or would somebody finally blink and call for peace? The city held its breath because when queens clash, the kingdom shakes, and right now the Love and Hip Hop empire was trembling on its foundation, waiting for the next explosion that could either end the war or burn everything to the ground. Weeks turned into a tense standoff across Atlanta. The Love and Hip Hop cast navigated red carpets, premieres, and group scenes like walking through a minefield. Every smile, every hug, every side eye captured on camera carried the weight of the unresolved beef. Yandy and Rasheeda avoided being in the same frame whenever possible. Producers had to reshoot scenes multiple times because the energy was so thick you could cut it with a knife. Fans dissected every moment, wondering if the next episode would finally bring the confrontation everybody craved, or if the women would keep pretending everything everything was fine off screen, the shade continued in subtler ways. Yandy posted workout videos captioning real strength comes from within, no shortcuts needed. Rasheeda fired back with glamorous photos showcasing her curves captioning confidence looks good on me body and soul. The passive-aggressive posts kept the internet buzzing, but nobody dropped the big receipts, yet both women seemed to be holding their aces close, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Then the turning point came at the Love and Hip Hop Atlanta season reunion taping. The set was electric, tension crackling like static before a storm. The host tried to keep things light at first, recapping the season highs and lows, but everybody knew the real reason millions tuned in was to see Yandy and Rasheeda face to face for the first time since the concert explosion. The audience held their breath when the host finally addressed it. So Yandy, what happened that night at Spice concert? Why storm out and throw that particular shade? Yandy sat up straighter, looking directly at Rasheeda across the stage. I came to support my sister Spice, but when I heard that shout out to Rasheeda, knowing the history, knowing the backstabbing, it felt like salt in an open wound. I've been patient, I've been quiet, but I am done letting disrespect slide in silence. Rasheeda rolled her eyes, but her voice was steady when she responded, you talking about disrespect when you body shamed me in front of thousands? My body, my business. You don't get to judge how I choose to feel good in my skin, especially when you've been throwing shade at my hustle for years. The argument escalated fast, voices rising over each other, accusations flying. Yandy brought up the leaked audio, saying, if you got receipts on my marriage, drop them right now. Stop hiding behind vague threats. Rasheeda leaned forward, honey, if I drop what I know, it won't just be about receipts, it'll be about truth. You've been playing the perfect wife, perfect boss, perfect everything, but we all know Mendeecees' past and how you swept certain things under the rug to keep your image clean. Mendeecees, who was seated in the audience, jumped up, security moving in quick, but he yelled out, don't you dare go there. Rasheeda, my past is my past and Yandy stood by me through it all. Unlike some who talk big but fold when real pressure hits, the room erupted, audience gasping, cast members trying to intervene. Mama D standing up shouting, both of y'all stop this madness right now. We family, we supposed to build each other up, not tear down. The host called for a break, but the damage was done. Clips from that moment leaked almost immediately. Even though taping was supposed to be closed, fans saw enough to know the reunion was explosive. Yandy stormed off set again, this time with tears in her eyes. Rasheeda stayed seated, looking shaken but defiant. Kirk rushed to her side, hugging her tight, while Mendeecees pulled Yandy into a side room. Trying to calm her breathing heavy, she whispered to him, I can't keep doing this, it's affecting our kids, our home, everything. Rasheeda on the other side was telling Kirk, I didn't want it to go this far, but she pushed me too far. I had to defend myself. The divide felt permanent, like bridges burned beyond repair. In the days following the taping, the cast tried to heal privately. Mama D hosted a small gathering at her house. No cameras, no producers, just the women talking real talk. She sat everybody down and said, look, we've been through divorces, jail, babies, losses, we stronger together than apart. Yandy and Rasheeda sat on opposite couches, at first not making eye contact, but as stories flowed, old memories surfaced, laughter mixed with tears. Rasheeda finally spoke soft, I am sorry for going low with the marriage talk, that wasn't right. Yandy wiped her eyes, I shouldn't have shaded your body, that's not who I am. I was hurt and I lashed out. Wrong, we both wrong, but we both been through too much to let this destroy us. They hugged, awkward at first, then real. The room exhaled like the whole city had been holding its breath. Of course, the reunion episode aired with every explosive moment edited for maximum drama. Ratings shattered records. Fans flooded social media with mixed reactions, some saying the beef was fake for TV, others saying it was the most real moment in Love and Hip Hop history. But behind the scenes, the women had made a quiet pact to rebuild slowly. No more public shade, no more leaked audios, just effort to remember why they started as friends in the first place. Spice threw a private dinner to celebrate Atlanta unity, inviting both women, and the vibe was cautious but hopeful. Toasts were made to growth, to forgiveness, to real sisterhood, even if it took time. The Love and Hip Hop Atlanta family wasn't the same anymore. Scars remained, questions lingered about whether the peace would last or if old habits would creep back, but for now the explosion had settled into embers instead of flames. The city watched, waited, wondered if queens could truly coexist after going to war. But one thing was undeniable, this drama reminded everybody why they tuned in week after week, because in Atlanta, when emotions run high, when loyalties get tested, when shade turns to fire, the stories that come out are raw, real, and impossible to look away from. Y'all, this has been the wildest ride in Love and Hip Hop Atlanta history, from that concert storm out to the reunion blow up and the fragile peace that followed. What do you think? Did Yandy go too far with the BBL shade, or was Rasheeda right to clap back hard? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Team Yandy or Team Rasheeda, or are you just here for the mess like me? If you want more breakdowns on all the Atlanta drama, make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss when the next explosion drops. Tell me in the comments what you want to see next. Do we need a part part 2 on this beef, or should I dive into another cast member's secret drama? You decide. The power is in your hands. I'll see you in the next video. Stay messy, stay watching. Peace.